Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Okay, so we're gonna be doing another. Sorry, the compressor still running there. We're gonna be doing another bodywork update, right? The next couple of videos, I did mention that we are doing something with Vic Badal. That's gonna be maybe later next week or the following week. That's gonna be something exciting to watch because we do have two LP knockouts coming in. I'm not gonna give you too much information on that now, but it will be a nice video. So I'm not going to give you information now. Okay, so I need to also do another video in the panel in the assembly shop because the 333s are being done. So we've actually got one of each color there. So we've got one white that's assembled already, but we assembling the henna red, aero silver, and diamond black. So it's one of each color 333, which I think it's the first to have been done in South Africa, all under one roof, where we got all four colors of the 333s being assembled and being restored, right? So yes, we do have more, but that's being done simultaneously, and I think that'll be something good. I'm gonna see if I can give you guys a sneak peek of it, or if I'm gonna throw a couple of shorts and reels up, but that will be done for next week. For this week, I want to do a little bit of metal mayhem. Yeah, call it metal mania. So please excuse my voice. I am recovering from the flu. So okay. So over here we've got, just let me identify the cars for you quickly. We've got Shadowline. Shit, I can't remember if this is the Shadowline or if it's the EVO1. But okay, so Shadowline slash EVO1, I can't remember now. And this is definitely an EVO1, but non-aluminium car. So these are not restoration vehicles. They've been cars, they are cars that have been brought in. This is actually the black car that we were selling, the black Shadowline that we were selling. So you guys will recognize it by the wheel. And the reason we've taken the car down, the paint job was fair on the car. It wasn't done the best, but it could pass for a decent car, for a good car. But the specific client, there's a thing for silver, right? He's gonna watch this video, he's probably gonna swear me, but yeah, he's got a thing for silver. So the original color of this car is ice white. The previous owner had the car went diamond black because that customer's cars were all diamond black. So that customer had from E60 M5s to F10 M5s to the E30s. Every car that he had was black on black, black on black. It was just how it is, right? And so we're going from one extreme to the other extreme now. This car here, we're gonna go Polaris silver on it. So in our style is basically, I always told you, go back down to metal, back down to metal. And again, these are three respray cars. This car here, so just a quick history on all the cars. We know this one here was diamond black before. Diamond black before, we're going Polaris silver on it. This car was painted before. It's a Dolphin metallic gray car. I've seen this car for the past 2 years. And the car came into us for some work to be done on it. And this customer's also been going through the car a lot. And you know what? We made a decision. We cannot block it down. We cannot get rid of the waves. There's no way to try and just get the paint to look good on the car. Let's strip down. Strip down, I'll take you through it now as well. So Dolphin metallic gray, EVO1. This car, I actually need to go through the color, the original color of the car, but we are going to make it ice white, right? So the reason why I'm saying we need to go through the original color of the car is because I found calypso on the car, I found black on it, and white was the last color on it. But the customer wants to go ice white on it. It is his preference, and so on like that. Let's start on here quickly. So we've got like different stages in the metalwork, right? Where this one is actually the furthest stage in it. This guy here, we've gone through our paint strip basically, so we've still got to do a lot of cleanup on it. We're still got to do a proper cleanup on it. We're still got to go through the valences and so on like that. But we've gone through the metal process on it, right? And the metal check, and I'll show you certain colors on the car, and that's basically just guide coats, check coats that we use just to get to certain levels in on the metalwork. And you can use the engineering blue on it, but we do find reactions from the engineering blue to our primer processes. There are reactions in it, and we've stopped using that. So we've got another guide coat that we use on it, and it seems to be working fine. We've got no reactions at this point in time. So taking this car down, you can have a look here. I've still got some of the paint on, and we've still got to come and mask this car up now to the front. We had to open the masking up just so we can get to the inside of the roof, which wasn't bad. There was filler on the side here, and we got that out, and I'll show you certain areas of where we had to get to. But if you just look here quickly, here's the white from the original color of the white, right? This haze that you're seeing over here as for the shine, this here you can see this is where we filed down. This haze is almost like it's a protective coat from factory, right? And you'll see that you can actually leave this car if it's got there's a Polaris Silver IS here that's got a full coat, but I don't think you're going to catch it through the glass and through the light. That car's still got its full coat on it, and if we leave that car for the next year, because it's got its protective coat on it, it won't flash rust. As for this car, that if we can't leave it for too long, we need to start cleaning it up before we start getting some sort of flash rusting on it. Okay, so anyway, you can see the different colors in here, you can see the blacks. So we're still going to clean this car out, like I'm going to show you like how we done on those cars already. And we've got to start prepping this car basically for our first stages of primer. But we have to, you know, I got three calls this week, or 4 calls this week, right? And 2 German specs coming in. It's something different, but not the rest of work, just paint work. And the one guy asked me for a blowover, and I said I will not touch the car. And you can't grasp why I'm saying I will not touch the car. And this is the reason being, is that we don't know what goes on underneath this paint here. So we cannot go and just flat down and start from there. We don't know what reactions we're going to get from there. We don't know how moist the paint is. There's a whole lot of reasons for that. So for me, it's always back to basics, back to zero, start off at metal. Let's just go through the car quickly. We've put and filed the car right through. We've gotten the panels. So this is not a full lined up. We haven't lined up as yet because this car was fairly straight, right? So we got the panels on so that we can start preparing this car for its first stages of primer. So we're still going to come through, still going to come and clean up here. We're going to have to unfortunately remove this old clear coat because, or not clear coat, it's an old e-coat. We have to remove this here, unfortunately, to get some sort of consistency and to obviously get it cleaned up. Get it cleaned up through all these gaps here, onto the door frames, and so on like that. The same thing on the insides. Now we're going to come out and mask over here. Let's see, why is this cubby open? Okay, I'll come and check why is this cubby open. We're going to come through, mask up now from the inside, so we can start paint stripping all the way through. And it's quite a painstaking process. It's quite a painstaking process where it's going to take us about a week, right, just to pull this here through. The same thing onto the doors. We're going to come as far as possible onto the doors here. I might not do the center. Remember, it is just a wrist breaker. But we want to pull off these grommets here, pull off the paint here, and have a fresh coat of paint on it. Do the same thing onto the sides, into the corners, like we're going to do. I'll show you on these guys here now. How we done there. Oh, sorry, there's no latch here. The roof. This is on bare metal. This here doesn't lie to a person. Right, so you can actually see how far we've gone. Sorry. You can actually see how far we've gone through the car with this here. Right, and again, bare metal doesn't lie. We also got to be a little bit careful of going too thin down, filing too far down onto the metal. Right, so we still got to come and file this here down a little bit here, but this guy didn't need a whole lot of filing. He did it a fair amount, but nothing major. Like I'll show you on these guys here now. So basically, Noosh, if you can just go around this guy here quickly. Sorry, the door latches, all the boot latches in there are off now. So that door must still come on. So yeah. Then we're going to move over to the white car. Right. This car here came in. We could see the car is not sitting properly, and I did measure this car, and this car also needs to go into the chassis machine. Because this car has been painted so many times, a lot of things have been covered up on the car, right? And unfortunately, we're starting to uncover things. We're starting to uncover things as we're moving through the car. And it's not supposed to have gone so far, but we decided to pull the chassis off, or not the chassis, we decided to pull the drivetrain out, just so we could get to certain areas of the car. And I know that we need to check chassis work on this car here. But here's an example of it. We stripped the car down, we started pinning and failing. This car was actually bad. I'm actually going to picture a video on this guy here, just very quickly. Because I was actually supposed to start a video on this guy, and when we were paint stripping this car, I done the video on this guy here already. But I forgot about this. So, car was actually bad. The paint is thick on this car. Lucian, I want you to come over here for me. Right? This is how thick the paint is on this car. So there's so many layers of paint running right through here that we actually battled to get through. So you can actually see the ridge here. Right? That's how much of paint was on this car. And you can see here even. It's thick, 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 thick. Right through the car. So it's piled up all the way into the corners. And as we are taking paint off, we're starting to find, and I'll show you on that side of the car, we're starting to find a lot on it. Coming down to here, we actually filed down, but because the car was reworked before, right, the metal was actually very thin on it. So we stopped filing to a certain point, and basically we chose now to lead fill so we can build up and strengthen the side of the panel up. And we had a whole lot of dings and dents in here. Now you can't really get to the side of the fender because you've got the inner arch starting here, so you can't really dolly it out, and you can't get the dolly in from the inside either. So we got it out as far as possible, not too high and above the body line, and we came and we lead filled it and we reshaped it out here basically. So we're not relying on any body fillers on it. We are still battling to get through all the paint and rubberizers existing on the car, and we're trying to pull off as much here. So you can see that the car looks a bit rough here at the back here, and we'll have to still go through this rear valence much more. We've done this part here so far, but this here was all covered in rubberizer, so you can get away with it if you cover it up, but we want to try and get away from that. So I left this side open just to show you how thin the metal actually is here, right? And this is what we've got to deal with. The metal is starting to shave off from here, and we're starting to see how it's starting to skin down all the way here. So if we start pulling out all of these dents here, all we're going to start doing is, because we pull out, we got to file down, and we're filing into the metal. We're just making it thinner and thinner and thinner. So I've left this here aside just so we can come and lead fill this area here, build it up basically to an even spot here, and then we're not going to body file it down, we're going to sand file it down to a even spot, right? We'll have to come and build up onto this arch again here, so we do the same thing as we done that side here, build up the arch and get us a proper shape into that, because it's just been panel beaten, and you can see here they've rolled the arches. What I hate about rolling the arches is the minute we start rolling out here, we start playing with the properties of the metal, right? And you'll see on the front fenders, it's a dead giveaway. The minute this is still thick, you got a fender arch here. The minute you come onto the front fenders and you start rolling these fenders here, the fenders start pulling in to the side here because the metal just gets very weak here. So you want to pull the lip out. This is a strength. It's actually a bead lip in there that strengthens out the fender, right? And pops it back out. So anyway, file down. You can see here. Come and have a look here. You can see how thin the metal is in here, right? So we're gonna still have to come up and build this whole area here because it is gone very thin here. Okay, you can actually see here. It flexes a lot. So we're gonna have to build this up here. We started digging into this area here. As we dug into here, we found a huge gash or huge gap here. There's a whole lot of body filler in this area here. So we're gonna pump this out properly. And then we found this out to have just been filled with body filler. It was easier for us just to cut it out basically. I had a donor one, we replaced the donor one in there. So we've welded up here, we brazed through basically onto the factory spots here. We're gonna get it down to its shape and then get our indent in there and re-spot weld this here. Now, as we're starting to dig into the car, we start finding that the floors look like this here. The back floors have got holes in it. Those floors need to be cleaned out. So I'm going to relook at how I'm tackling this guy here, because these are the unseens that people don't, that no one knows about, clients don't know about. So when they come for a respray, what do you do in situations like that? Again, the backboard, I got told by the customer, just sort it out. And it's not just something as simple as just sort it out. You've either got to source it or we've got to fabricate it. If we're going to fabricate it, it's 2 weeks worth of work. And it's a lot. Bonnet, we got the bonnet on quite a bit. It was thick. This bonnet was built up like you cannot believe. We actually had to come through and grind down a layer first of fillers and paints just to get to the to some sort of primer on the bonnet, not down to metal. And then we had to paint strip it further and then orbital it out. So it was crazy. Bottom line is, people do a whole lot of crap when they build cars because it was actually a decent bonnet to start with, right? And the bonnet was actually decent. Besides for this area over here, right? The rest of the bonnet is actually a good bonnet and it's a good structure to start off with. Back onto this guy here, same story. We've cleaned it up already. If I had to show you how thick the paint was on this guy, it was unreal. And there's a whole lot of stuff covered up on this vehicle, right? So we've had issues on the door here where we had thick body filler piled up onto the door here. There was a repair done to the door at the bottom. They done a previous rust repair, right? But all they done was they didn't plenish it up properly. There was a dent in there and they just came and filled it up with body filler. So we've lead filled the bottom up. We've put and filed the fenders properly. So we got it down to its metal form now. Now we can start actually working with it and you can start getting the curvature back out. And this is the curvature that I talk about all the time. With a whole lot of paint on it, primers on it, body fillers on it, you lose the curvature, you lose the sharpness of the car itself, right? So we got that right. Then this roof has been replaced before. So I know that the car was in the front ring, right? And it is a sunroof car. But I don't know what the heck happened here. Anyway, we had to sort all these pillars out here. So we had to basically come restructure, realign, lead it up, right? So we've got a good lead finish over here. We've got a good finish over here. And the same thing. So there's all four pillars. They were basically just popped up, right? And we actually had a big ridge coming through them. And we've done well now to get it actually nice and smooth, nice and lump. We've done a test with our ear on here, and we've got our gapping done properly as well. Back fenders weren't actually too bad on this car, but again, just because it was applied with paint and paint and paint and paint, it looked like bad fenders, but it was actually decent fenders just over applied. Fenders are down to metal. Have a look at it from the corner look or from the side view. Right, it's as flat as we can get it, down to metal without taking off a lot of filings, a lot of metal, basically, without making the metal too thin. So we're ready for our first stages of primer here. You can see we got some lead here in the corner again, and we're still going to come and clean that out. And we're shaping up through. I think we can get a better view from the back of the car here to see how the pillars look. Again, these three pillars here, A, B, and C, we had to restructure those pillars and get them back to a factory state. Then I came through now yesterday and we started pulling off the rubberizer back at the back here just to find a big rotten panel. A big rotten panel in here. So it was rotten basically from here, rotten up on the inside. So we came through, we done a quick fab. We still gotta plenish it out nicely, and we still gotta get our welding down as far as possible. But a quick fabricated panel up here, welded in. We'll get this here nice and flush. So the rust, the cancer is basically out, right? We're still gonna make up the panel on the inside. I do believe that we're gonna find an issue on this floor because I can see how the floor is sagging in. The same thing with this door here. You can see we've started lead filling on the door and we had to actually build up and reshape, and we had to do the whole bottom of this door here. So it being a KZN car, a coastal car, there is rust on the car, but it wasn't as bad. Then again, the bonnet is still loose here. So I thought that we were done on the car, right? And again, like on the black car there, we didn't clean out the wiper motor area. Once we started digging out of here, I just found a whole lot of body filler. So you can see how this is all shaped out, and we found a kink under here. So we know this car definitely has to go back onto the chassis machine or onto the chassis machine. But we've now got to come in, lead build up here, shape up here, and first get the car straight and then shape up here and get this area sorted out again, just so we avoid the whole body filler stage of it. So yeah guys, I think I've covered all the avenues I had on these cars. So it'll be nice to see how they come out. Remember, Dolphin Grey, Ice White, and now Polaris Silver. So I'll keep you guys up to date with basically body work on it, and when we get into paint stages, we still like a good couple of weeks away from that. But I really think they're going to come out nice, and I'd like to see how this car comes out. I know the history on this car. I know where this car, I know what the owner has gone through on this car, yeah. And I can't wait to see how this car comes out, and I can't wait to see his faces. Well, the faces on all of them, actually. But this guy's face, I can't wait to see his face when the car comes out. So, let me know what you guys think. Drop a comment. Like, subscribe, and share. You guys know what to do. And I shall see you in the next one. Cheers, guys.